boxing.
Okay, welcome back everybody to Boxing on the Edge. Thank you for tuning in as always, much appreciated. Today's video is going to be about defense. I'm going to do a 4-part series on defense because it's such a vast subject. There's no way you can cover it in one video. So in today's video, we're going to go over the parry, step back, and the slip. Okay. Now I've just done a video on head movement which does have the slip in there, but I couldn't leave it out of this video, so I'll briefly go over that, and then in videos to come we're going to cover all aspects of defense for beginners from an advanced point of view to a beginner's perspective. I've kind of forgotten about you beginners recently, so my apologies. We're going to dedicate this for you. All these videos going forward are going to be for you. Anybody else, welcome obviously, but I'm trying to tap into the minds of beginners with some advanced information. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get into it. Parry. What is the parry exactly and how do you use it? If you're an orthodox fighter like myself, the parry typically is to parry the jab, okay? So you're deflecting power basically, you're deflecting the shot. It comes at you and you're just glancing it off to the side. You can parry the power punches if you choose to. It is a little bit more dangerous and a little bit harder, but it can be done. But I would recommend for beginners just worrying about a jab that's incoming to parry away, okay? How to parry? You've got to let the shot come to you and you just got to time it, okay? You've got to time it and glide the shot away, move it away, parry it away, deflect it. Two mistakes that I see over and over, beginners and pros actually, pros still do it a lot now, is that when you're parrying, you'll come so far down that it opens up a left hook, or if a boxer's going to feint you, you don't want to go all the way down here with the parry. You want to keep your hand around here, okay, and just deflect it, boom, like this. Just keep it nice and smooth, deflect the shots, parry it away. That's number one. Another mistake for parrying is actually showing, you know, your glove like this, and sometimes it can be done deliberately. There are tactics behind that, but you don't really, if you're a beginner, you don't really want to show your opponent that you're about to parry their jab because you're letting them know what you're doing. So you've got to disguise it a little bit and be like this and catch it, as opposed to just boxing like that. All right, number two, the step back, which probably should have been number one because this is the most important boxing defensive move you can do, in my opinion, and I think that's pretty ubiquitous, to be honest, because it's so easy to do and it's so important, okay? All you're doing is stepping back, okay? If your opponent is stepping towards you and they're out of range, let's just say they cannot hit you from where they are, the only way they can hit you is by stepping in, and if you don't step back, you're going to get hit. So step back with them. So if I step, he steps, step. I still can't reach him. As long as he matches my steps, he's all good. It's a part of something called range control, which we won't get into now because that is actually highly complicated in its essence. But actually, in its essence, it's quite simple because all you have to do is control the distance between you and your opponent where they can't punch you. And by doing that, a step back is the easiest way to do it. And on top of that, not only are you out of distance and out of range, but let's just say your opponent steps in a little quicker than you and is able to get a shot off and is able to land. If you're going backwards, you're going to diffuse the punch anyway, and especially if you're going sideways. You see Tyson Fury does this brilliantly, especially against Wilder in the second fight. He was going backwards off to the side, taking a lot of sting out of those punches. And you know, it's like a car crash, okay? So if you've got two cars going on the motorway and they're going quite fast and one's going a lot faster and just bashes into the other one, it's gonna cause a disruption for sure. But if the car is stationary and it rams into it, then you know, it's going to be a disaster. One mistake about the step back is if you are, let's just say your opponent keeps stepping towards you and you keep going straight back, it's not a good thing to do. You want to try and turn off to the side a little bit, okay? That's definitely a mistake. Even, you know, some pros still do it a little bit. So when you step back, don't go straight back. It's like, imagine, if I've got a weird analogy. Imagine a crocodile, right, is chasing you. Bear with me. And you're not just going to run in the one direction, are you? Because he's going to catch you. So what would you do? Go off to the side. Same thing. Okay, the third one is the slip. Bam, bam, beautiful. Bam, bam. Okay. I have covered this in a recent video called Head Movement. I highly recommend watching that. It's a little bit more advanced, but there are some basic techniques on how to slip. But slipping is very important defensively, so I couldn't leave it out. Basically, it is moving your head off the center line, which the center line is this line between you and your opponent where your head is on, and you throw punches straight down the line and your opponent's head is there, you're going to hit it probably, unless they're stepping back. But even then, they might still catch you. But if you're moving your head off the center line, it's a lot harder for them to time. So slipping, you can practice that. Shadow boxing, just getting used to the actual movement too. Boxing is about being fluid, or there's a lot more to it than that, but you want the fluidity, and practicing your head movement is very important and very good for that. So that will help you get a bit more loose and be a bit more confident defensively, because when you are tired, or when you know you might be outskilled a little bit and you've got to rely on your defense. So defense is supremely important. Okay, that is it from me, Boxing on the Edge. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, share it if you liked it. Stay positive. I'll see you next week.